Well, the journey for me personally started 17 years ago when I became a member of BNI out in Salt Lake City, Utah. And I was a member for 3 years before I moved to Minnesota, and there was no BNI chapters in Minnesota. And it worked so well for me in Salt Lake as a real estate agent, I figured why not start another one and start BNI in Minnesota. So that's kind of where it started. It was all about a marketing tool for my real estate. And it's worked very well. I still am a member of my original chapter in Minnesota, and our chapter is like at 66 members, and I get all the business I need for real estate through BNI. I don't market anyplace else. And what kind of happened is that once I got my chapter started, people came to me and said, geez, this is a great idea, Nancy. Can you help me build a chapter? And so I just started building chapters, just kind of like the same thing that happened to Ivan. It was like, how can I help other people and keep BNI strong? So right now, and this is 14 years later, we have 165 chapters, over 4,000 members, and we're the largest referral organization in the state of Minnesota and Wisconsin, and also in the world. So it's kind of exciting. I have a number of chapters that are over 50. I was fortunate enough to launch the largest chapter in the world at 75 members a couple of years ago. And so I have found as you build chapters, it's a matter of identifying, just like whatever size you're at, who do you really need? Who can add value? Who are your referral partners? Who do you want in that room? And I truly believe, like in my own personal contact sphere, I always keep anywhere from 18 to 22 members in my real estate sphere, because that's where my business comes from. 50% of my business is going to come from my contact sphere. So I encourage my members to develop their own contact sphere and make sure that it's always strong, because that's where 50% of their business will come. So with that, as you develop the teams and you identify who you need, and you invite, that's how you build. Whether it's building to 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, it's the same process. But how you run a chapter is very easy. There is the BNI agenda is perfect for 90 minutes up to about 35 members. And you don't make any adjustments until you're about 35. And once you get to 35, 40 in that arena, you make one adjustment. Two really. You make an adjustment from 60 seconds to 45 seconds, and 2 6-minute speakers instead of one 10 to 12-minute speaker. And now you've just bought yourself another 20 members. And then when you get to 60, right around 60, it gets tight again. Now, mind you, your president runs a very good meeting. Everybody has their time, and you have 45 seconds. You're up, you're down. Referrals are on target, but you will start and end the meeting on time. And at 60, the only adjustment you have to make is that you start your open networking 10 minutes earlier. So in my case, my chapters are at 7 o'clock in the morning and so at 10 minutes to 7 is when we start open networking, and we start the formal meeting at 5 after 7. We have just now bought us another 20 members. So now our chapter could get up to basically 80 members and still run an hour and hour. We still close our meeting at 8:30. So it is just a matter of working the agenda and working the timelines on it, and it all works. And so you can have a very effective meeting. And the advantage, as I always say, it's the same hour and a half. Whether you've got 20, 25 people in the room, or if you've got 60 people that are your sales force, the business is 3-4 times as much. We're passing over 500, 600 referrals a month in my chapter every month. So it is, you work one-to-ones. You walk into a room of 66 people every week, plus another 4 or 5 visitors that we always have. And it's a great resource, and it's a great way to be able to help other people. If they don't fit into your chapter, you can help them get into another chapter that's close. Well, they run from all sorts of things. I mean, I have First of all, the basics are always like your title and your mortgage. They're also my appraisers, they're my handyman, they're my builders, they're my electricians, they're my plumbers. They're the resources that you need whenever you list a piece of property or sell a piece of property. Or people that are moving in, they need resources. They need to have their locks changed. They might need to be looking for a commercial property for their company because they've just moved here. So then there you have your commercial agent. You have your property managers for your investors. So that way you're, for that, it just goes on and on and on. Contact spheres, or power teams, as we refer to them, either or, is one of my favorite topics.
Tell me about it.
Because I always believe there's 5 major power teams in every chapter. Now, as your chapters build, you're going to have like sub-power teams also. But if you concentrate on the 5, and I've tracked this over with my business over years and other businesses, is that as I track my referrals that come in, 50% of my business is always coming from my own personal contact sphere. The other 50% will come from the other 4 spheres, automatically. Okay, so, you're going to stand up and do your presentation every week, your 45 seconds or 60 seconds, and you're going to get business from all over, but percentage-wise, most of it will, half of it will come from that contact sphere. So, as I tell my new members, look around, look at your chapter, divide it up, figure out who's in your contact sphere, who's in the other spheres, and be just a little selfish when you're inviting. Start inviting people that are in your contact sphere that are missing, that you know, that you trust, that could benefit by being part of BNI. And invite them, because you're opening up them to an opportunity to increase their referrals, but they're going to be able to help you. And you control then your own destiny. If you're saying, I want more business, who do you have in the room? You control it. And when you go to MSP and your member success program and you talk about the referral confidence curve, the goal is always to get to trust, right? And once you're to trust, then people are going to refer you more business quicker. Well, when you invite a good friend and they become a member, you don't start at the bottom of the referral curve with that person. You're already at trust. And so you already are going to be able to have that database open to you, so you will get business much faster. So that is why you invite, and that's why you want to pick who you want to invite as far as how much business you want to get, how fast. Just to be honest and to keep it simple. Yeah. From the heart. If it's worked for you, let people know why BNI's worked for you, how it works. And ask them just to come. You're not trying to sell them anything. You're just giving them an opportunity to increase business for them. And if they're looking at more referrals in a way to increase their business this year, come and visit, because BNI sells itself. All you need to do is get them in the room. Well, I know some of the times my chapter has personally been over 50 for probably 9 years now. And we got up to as high as 70, 71, 72. And chapters do. Things happen. Members, there's a natural nutrition. And so that's why it's so important to always invite. And I have real good membership committees with the focus of always activating the team every week as to who do we still need, what categories are still open, who are we looking for. So I think that's important to let the members know who to kind of keep an eye out for. One of the other things that I found that's been real effective is that when visitors come, we ask that the president gives a personal call to the visitor and thanking them for coming, and that the visitor host does. Well, my personal chapter took on the ownership. The membership committee decided that they would make a follow-up phone call and just let that member know that they're on the membership committee, that category is available. We were delighted to have you come to visit our chapter, and we would like you to come back if you're interested. Can we answer any questions? And then they make the statement and they share why they are part of BNI. What's BNI meant to them? So it's again a personal information. We increased our membership. Our close ratio and our ability to have visitors come back and actually join was phenomenal. Just with that one little twist as far as just letting them have kind of a personal flavor as to, what it's meant to some of the members. Well, I think there's always an enthusiasm for whatever as you walk into the room, and I think that's because they've developed relationships, and the fastest way in BNI to develop relationships and the toughest way in a larger chapter is that you really have to do one-to-ones. That 15 minutes of having 66 people in the room, you're not going to be able to talk to people and have the interaction with as many people as you do in a smaller chapter. So that is real important to actually set up one-to-ones. And then in the bigger chapters, what we find we do is we'll do group one-to-ones. And so that way it's easier to develop those relationships. It's easier when you're in a group, you have an opportunity to get to know more people quickly and they get to know you. And it's about that trust factor. And so once you get to know people, you like them, you trust them, the energy is easier. You walk into the room of friends. My membership committees are probably as large as 6 to 8 people in these chapters. We divide up the duties and the roles so that way it's not ever on one person's shoulder. The vice presidents have to be good at delegating and okay with that, and so they're more of they run the membership committee. And with that, you still use the same basic process. The policies don't ever change. You stick to the policies. They make it easy to run a chapter, whether it's at 60 or whether it's at 20. It's the same process. And so I try really hard to make sure that everybody understands the process. So if they have a question, they always have resources to call on my team as far as whether it's their assistant director or area director or myself or member service, because I want to make sure that they're comfortable with making sure that everything runs right in their chapter. I've divided my area or my region into 7 areas right now, and that consists of my area directors. Each area has an area director that runs or supports that area. They would have no more than 50 chapters, and so as we develop areas, I'll create more area directors. Under the area directors are my assistant directors, and assistant directors support and work with chapters, and some of them also build chapters depending on the area and the need with their area director. Assistant directors in my region has anywhere between 4 to 10 chapters that they help support, and that changes depending on their needs and what they would like, and as the area grows. And then I have ambassadors. Ambassadors they're my cheerleaders. They help support my assistant directors and work with chapters. A number of years back, I identified, I guess, my purpose. And my purpose is to be able to make a difference in people's lives. And I've been able to do that with real estate, as far as finding people homes and opportunities to truly make a difference in their life and their lifestyle. And I've been able to do that with BNI, as far as at a member level, changing their ability to stay in business, their ability to do business, from a director and my team, giving them an opportunity to open doors and make a difference in their lives. So BNI gives me that chance, that ability to do what I like to do.